So the first thing we need to do is remove the seat. All we need to do, we take the bolt out here, this one here, on this side, the same on the other side, then we can just lift the seat, slide it out, and then it's ready to remove the tank.
So you can see these two bolts here, you need a 10mm socket for those, they hold the front end of the tank down. So these are already loose, so I'll just pop these out now. So there's one and two. Okay, now you're going to have to support the tank in the air, so I've got a piece of wood here, just a little bit scrap bit of wood, and that's about 22 inches long or 57 centimeters. Okay, so what you need to do is, I'm just going to transfer the camera over, is once you've got it to this point, you can just lift the front of the tank up and then get your piece of wood and then rest the tank against that piece of wood. Okay, so it's important to make sure that the wood is away from this screw, because you need to remove this screw, and this is what holds the front end of the airbox down, and again you need a 10mm socket for that. Okay, now as I say, I'm not going to take the airbox out, but I will explain the other parts. You have got, you can see here, this plug, let me just do this for a minute. You can see this plug here. I found it easy to just get a stubby screwdriver, take this screw out and just let this hang down, but obviously you can disconnect it, but it's difficult because the connector is up at the top and it's hard to get your fingers in, so just remove that screw and let it hang down. Also, you can see, I will get a torch just to shine in there, so you can see the screw there at the top of this first carb. So there's one here, there is another one just behind it. Now when I put this back on, I put them at an angle so I can get a long screwdriver in through the gaps, so I can come through the gaps here. Okay, so there's two of them facing out this way, and then when you go to the other side of the bike, see there's one just in here, palm of finger, and then another one a little bit further back. You also need to remove the clip on this pipe and then pull that pipe off. You need to remove the clip on this pipe at the side, if you can see the little clip there, and pull that pipe off. And then what I would suggest is that rather than trying to disconnect this now, is once you've disconnected all those others and you start to lift the airbox off, you can then disconnect that. Now another thing I'll suggest that's really important is that you have a clean piece of cloth. I used a very large chamois leather. I made sure it was clean, there were no bits on it, so that once you lift the airbox off, you'll expose the top of each of the carburetors. So as soon as the airbox is off and out of the way, what I did then was lay the cloth across the top of the carburetors to make sure I don't accidentally drop anything into them. That's very important, so make sure you've got all of that ready before you actually take the box off. And then obviously, in the Haynes manual tradition, reassembly is the reversal of removal. And that's about it really.